obviously, this show has generated such a big kind of fan base over the kind of few years. I just wondered for the kind of fans who are desperately anticipating the third and final season, what can they kind of expect? Kind of tonally, is this very much in line with what we've seen before? Can they expect any surprises?
I think this is well, it's by far going to be the most I don't know, uh t twist twisty and packed season, I think. And also, like, yeah, like I think other than that, it's pretty much the same that you've come to expect from the other shows, or other seasons. It's um just in more depth, I think, which is exciting. It's gonna be I'm very excited to see how everybody reacts to it.
Did you
Hope.
do you get all the scripts in kind of in one go? I just wondered what that moment when you first kind of get the scripts through. I know obviously you trust writers like Lisa, for example, but like how is that moment? Because your entire character's fate or your character's actions, they're in somebody else's hands. Is that quite an exciting, scary moment?
I think it's a good it's both. I mean, it's incredible. They're all incredible writers, so I trust them fully. But and it's also like, now when we've done this and sort of uh got to live through these characters, all of us. Uh, there's also, like, for this season, I think it was the first time when we could actually, like, discuss, or like, oh, but, like, would he actually do that? Like, I feel like he would. And have a conversation about what uh how they would react. Um and we were very, like, we were, um like, very, we were listened to, it was a very nice thing to like have that sort of back and forth. um but it's always, like, scary, to when you, like, open the first page, and we actually had these collationeringar, like, we sit around, like, table reads, on the first two episodes, and then the last one together, which was very, like, yeah, we all felt it was very nice to share that with everyone in the cast.
Yeah, I mean, you must have kind of grown so close to this character. I mean, I think at the beginning I called him a dick. Maybe I'm being mean. He's flawed. That's the nicer way of saying it. Like
He's
over
flawed.
time, have you grown to kind of understand his? I mean, his decisions more. I mean, do you still judge him? I don't know what your relationship is like with a character who makes so many mistakes like he does.
No, but I think I've always been, like, I don't know, seen his fragility, or like his I mean, he's really just very, like, scared and troubled and I don't know, awkward guy inside, but he's, like, built up this very uh big and thick wall. And it's like, from the first season, I feel like I because I had to have something that I could relate to also, to not feel like it's completely different. So I think it's always come from that place of, like, every mistake, or, like, shitty action he takes, um comes from a place of fright, like, he's completely frightened, and or, like, it comes from this the panic sort of thing. uh yeah.
Or do you get like protective over him? If someone said to you, "Oh man, that guy's an asshole," or "That guy, oh, I hate that guy," do you ever sometimes feel a bit like someone speaking about your brother or something?
No, but I still feel like, uh I don't know, I can sort of, I mean, I agree with the people that says he's an asshole and, like, everything. But I hopefully more people are gonna like see his, I don't know, look past, and I feel like a lot of people have as well, like trying to defend him in a way, which is very nice. But I think in season 3 we'll see a lot more of that as well.
Yeah, because I was wondering about, because you looked at kind of, I think there was sort of young actors in Game of Thrones and stuff, and because their
Yeah.
characters would make mistakes or they would get a bit of, sort of negative kind of support from people. Sometimes their fan interactions would kind of be in line with that. I just wondered if that was ever a concern for you as an actor when you play a role that is some people might be a bit questionable about, and if there was any kind of support offered to you in case there was any backlash at all.
Of course, like that's a very cool thing with working with Netflix, because I didn't know that before we started shooting, but they always have this sort of safety net, uh when it's like we can always like reach out to them, and if something becomes like too much or too like heavy. I haven't experienced that, because uh people have been very like nice to me. I don't know why, but it's but I've somehow like I don't know, not seen it yet. But it exists, and it's very nice. That sort of just knowing that you can always uh come to someone and talk. Um, but I think I sort of I because just because I'm very different from my character, I rarely got that. Like the distinction is pretty clear. When you if you meet me in real life, or if you like, I don't know. So I think I never had that issue.
And also, you bring humanity to the character, and I think people can spot that in him too. But I was wondering, because you've
That's
grown,
very
so it's not
nice.
just the character. I was wondering if you've kind of grown close to, but obviously all of
Mm.
your castmates as well. You know,
Yeah,
I don't, you must have taken so many good friendships away from this whole experience.
of course. It's been like we've become sort of a family in a way, because it's been I mean it's we because we're still young, but it's we sort of grew up together through that, um through these past years. um and of course that leaves like a, which is I don't know, it was pretty sad when we knew it's gonna be like it's gonna end, but still it's like we we're friends, everyone, so we're gonna keep in touch, and it still feels like I've gained a family, even though it's ending.
Yeah. So do you still have like a big old WhatsApp group or something? So
We have our chats, group chats, and the gatherings occasionally. So hopefully that's gonna keep on going.
yeah, it must have been a fun rap party as well. Who's the best dancer in the
Oh,
group?
the best answer.
Yeah.
Oh my God, there's so many. Um, I would say I would say like karaoke. Karaoke is like which also is a place where we often end up.
Mm,
Uh, there Omar uh, thrives, of
mm,
course. Dancing, want to say me,
mm,
not to brag,
mm.
but I'm a free spirit when it comes to the on the dance floor after a few drinks. I'm
Yeah.
pretty loose with my
Right.
body. Uh,
You just let the music take over you.
yeah.
Yeah. I was going to ask who's the worst dancer, but I'm not going to do that. There's too many good vibes in a moment. But I was going to ask. I mean, obviously, this show has been such a big success, as we mentioned with fans. I wanted to ask about how you've navigated that experience, because when you get into acting, as I'm sure with you, you get into acting to tell stories, to do something that you feel passionate about, to make shows because they're enjoyable experiences. They challenge you as an actor, but then
Mm.
with all of that comes this whole added element, which is fame, recognition, and fans. I just wondered how that's been for you over this experience, because it's something you can never prepare for, I guess.
That's a very good question, and it's like in the beginning I had a tough time with all the. I'm not very like good with with attention in general, and like I don't know, haven't really. It's a weird thing to. Actually, I talked to someone yesterday about this, who's also like just gone through the sort of same thing, and it's sort of like you get like a new body in a way, or like you get aware of yourself in a in a weird way, uh, which can be pretty weird and frightening. But you get used to it, and it's not that bad. I mean, people have it far worse, and it's worth it because, as you said, like it's worth it being on set and like doing that, and then you just have to find a way to like manage the other parts, but just as long as you still enjoy this, like, 'cause that's the thing we fell in love with, like, I don't know.
I know, I mean, because in some ways there are kind of similarities between what the characters are going through and the actors. I mean, you just go straight back to series one, and obviously how much, you know, the kind of the royals are in the public eye, and actors
Mm.
also public eye. You still feel you've got to behave in a certain way in public and all that sort of stuff. So I wondered, as yourself as an actor, you've grown and
Mm.
become more successful and recognized during this began. Have you found you understand the characters more because of that relationship with the kind of public, if that makes any sense?
It's a very interesting, yeah, yeah. I mean, uh, yeah, like it's almost like it's like it was I don't know what it's called, like this I don't know, truth fortune telling, the first season. Like I can imagine Edvin and Omar mostly have had like uh almost the same experience as their characters in a way. It's like um so that's been pretty weird, and must have been pretty weird for everyone involved. But you get, yeah, you understand the pressure in a different way. Um, yeah.
And as much as you look, I know you've obviously loved making this series. It's obviously meant so much to you as well. But
Yeah.
it's over. Is there ever? Can it also be a little bit freeing in a way? I remember I spoke to an actress from Game of Thrones years ago now, and
Mm.
she said that one of the things she wanted to do just straight after it was finished was just dye her hair green because she'd
Mhm.
spent like 10 years having to have her hair exactly the same length. And
Yeah.
you know, and I just wonder now, obviously, like I said, you know, you've had a great experience, but you've done 3 seasons, it's taken up a big kind of chunk of your career so far. Is there now a sense, now it's done, that you can, you know, spread your wings a little bit? Is there a slight sense of freedom attached?
Of course. Like I would almost say that it's mostly just freeing. It's feels good to not like keep milking this story. I feel like it's we've come to a good like woof, blah, and we can all like because I'm also like super pumped to see what everyone else is gonna do after this. And no, it's mostly it's a bit scary, but in a good way. Like it's this sort of I don't know, exciting whatever happens.
Maybe you could become a dancer. Maybe that's your
Yeah,
yeah.
maybe.
So yeah, well, I mean, my final question, because I'm just saying, yeah, it was, I think a good season, it really knows when it's time to end. I think you never want it to
Mm,
go on too long, and I think 3 is a good number for this show. So
yeah.
anyway, you speak about kind of, you know, the excitement and the freedom now with what's next. I just wondered what is kind of next. How's your next year looking like? Have you got much kind of in the pipeline? Are you taking a bit of a break? What's your year looking like at the moment?
Right now, I have some work in progress stuff in, and also uh like in so many different areas of I don't know, I'm trying to do some more music, and also like also some new projects which is super exciting, and I'm my goal is I think to sort of get out of Sweden and trying to spread my wings, or like, I don't know. I'm heading to more like, I have my eyes on London in a way. I love London, so
You'd be very
hopefully I'm
welcome.
gonna,
Yeah.
yeah.
Be very welcome in London.
Maybe we can have, maybe we can go out and dance.
Yeah,
And
yes,
yeah,
exactly.
you
If
can
it's
show me
fun,
some
you can show
nice.
me your moves. I can see if
Yeah.
if it's true what you say. No, but yeah, that's yeah. You should. I mean, it's good to come to that. But I was just going to say actually, because it's interesting. This is a very final question, but because I always watch things kind of subtitled. But I remember when I first started watching the Young Royals, I couldn't. My automatic default was like dubbed, and I
Yeah.
because obviously someone you've got great English, you maybe want to come to work in England and make projects in the UK, America, whatever. But have you ever watched the show dubbed? And is it really weird seeing someone else's English voice come out of your mouth?
I mean, the English voice is actually us.
Oh, it is you doing it? I
Yeah.
thought it might have been. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So we've dubbed ourselves the whole
See,
3 seasons.
yeah.
But it is I've never watched it with my, because that's almost a level more of weirdness, like watching yourself but in a different way, in a different language, with my same, it's weird. I did watch the French dubbing, just because I was because it was very funny to, to see. Um, but maybe for this one I'm gonna try to
Yeah, you should
just
give it a go.
weird. It's
Yeah.
weird.
Cool.
No.
I look forward to the whole country and the whole world watching the Young Royals and finally seeing it come to an end. So I
Yeah,
hope,
me too.
yeah. So I hope you enjoy. But just yeah, have you got plans for the opening night? Have you got like a little party planned, or your family watching it with you? Or
Not really. Like I have I've been too scared to like I don't know, plan anything. I just wanna, like, if someone uh I don't know, I don't know, wanna watch it, I'm gonna watch it with them. But I'm gonna take it as it comes. But I'm very excited to see it, and for everyone else to see it.
well, I hope you
And
enjoy it. There's lots to enjoy. And yeah, if we ever come to London, we'll do some
yeah,
karaoke.
some drinks and some dancing, mostly dancing.
Yeah, mostly.
Yeah.
I'm rubbish though. But anyway, Malta, thank you so much for speaking to me today. And yeah, we'll catch up
Thank
again
you.
sometime, sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey, you guys!
Hey, you guys!
Hey, that's what they all say.
Hey, you guys!
Hey!